Good afternoon. Once again, high above my garage in Aiken, South Carolina, this is Jim Voss with Just My Opinion. I guess today's just going to be me complaining about the world. First of all, this entire charade about the Chinese balloon is absolutely just a crock of cow patties. Are you telling me that we don't have a NASA scientist? That we don't have any smart mathematicians? That we don't have any smart people that could figure out, and I'm sure they already know, the weight of the Chinese balloon, the miles per hour of the trade winds, which we monitor constantly for our weather, the drag, the trajectory, and once the balloon is pierced, the rate of fall, and to where it is going to land. It is not like this balloon has already captured all of the data and is going to carry it, fly it back to China. No, it's already transmitted that information. Now, here's a major, major problem. How long are we going to wait? My shrink told me one time, how long are you going to sit on the tracks knowing the train schedule? So now as this balloon drifts over many important states, where we have our silos, where we have our cell towers, where we have a multitude of things that could compromise national security, how long are we going to wait? Now, if we wait until it gets clear of the East Coast and decide to shoot it down, then we do it like NASA does with the capsule. We figure out where the particles or pieces are going to fall into the ocean. Now, we can go retrieve those if we want to and do some reverse spy work by looking at what's there. However, we probably already know. The problem is that the data that has been picked up is already lost. It's already gone across the sea into cyberspace or straight to Beijing. And Wan Dong Bing Bong, whatever the hell his name is basking in the glory and the happiness of our idiocy, of our cowardice, with our inability to strike, because we don't want to hurt our relationship with China. Wow. Have you ever heard the Chinese say we're not going to do something because we don't want to hurt our relationship with the United States? They can give a rat's furry ass one way or the other whether or not they hurt our feelings, but we're so worried about being all inclusive that we're just going to let this thing completely go on down. Now, this is my idea as a military man. You don't hit it with one patriot, you hit it with three. By the time three patriots hit that one spot, there won't be anything left but smithereens to dust down in the atmosphere. And you cannot tell me that in big sky country there's not a very unpopulated area that they can make this fall. I don't know. It's the usual thing that I just put on Facebook. The military, the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, the Pentagon all have to work for the president. And they reflect the spineless leadership that we have. All right, let's move on to something else. It's just really got me bent out of control. The 98% of the Americans that live within these borders are kowtowing and bending over backwards for the 2% of the perverts and the Wannabes and the Protestors. I don't understand it. What is wrong with the mores and morals that we used to have? That's why they put that little placard on the bathroom that has a little skirt on it. That's for the girls and for the ladies. And the one with the slacks on it belongs to the boys and the men. It's simple. If it ain't broke, let's don't fix it. But now, if you're a big old hairy man wearing a jockstrap, if you want to go into the little girl's bathroom, you can. Why? Because we don't want to offend you. We are the United States of the waiting to be offended. And I'm going to tell you, when you do as much research as I do, and you can wrap your mind around the big picture, this is what I think. I'll put my glasses on so I can see my notes. The 4 major cancers that exist within the United States, the ones that have brought us to our cowardice, the one that has taken away our ability to stand up for our rights and our liberties. One is this stupid cancel culture. 2 is woke. 3 is BLM. And 4 is Antifa. Now, they'll probably censor that because I'm not supposed to say anything about these socially protected groups, but the truth always hurts. These 4 groups must find everything that is racist about any and everything we do in life. We're being protectionist. We're being racist if we don't let that man into the little girl's room, because we have to be all accepting of these lunatics, perverts of society. We allow the protesters to destroy millions and even billions of dollars and burn down an entire metropolitan city. And we just park the cars, the cop cars, and put the barricades on the outside of what they're tearing down. And they always go to the best part of town, downtown. They don't want to tear up their own neighborhood, so they go there. And what does that leave us? Deep in debt, store owners that can't reopen, but we don't do anything to the protesters. We have taken away the penalty for the crime. Much as in New York and other places, you no longer have to post a bond to get out of jail if you've broken the law. In one door, out the other. We don't have any punishment for the crime. Tarzan and Jane stayed on the reading list, national reading list, for 50 years. And about 10 years ago it was taken off because they finally decided that Tarzan and Jane weren't married. My goodness. They had a child out of wedlock, as we do here 48% of the time. Black Lives Matter. Bull. All lives matter, regardless of culture, creed, color, origin, religious preference. Doesn't make any difference. All lives matter. That's given to me in the Constitution. BLM has no right to tell me that the Constitution is prejudiced or as Madam Lardass Hillary says, that the Constitution must be a fluid and flexible document. It needs to be just as it is, that all men are created equal. Remember the thing from Krusty the Clown? It doesn't say that black lives matter most. It doesn't say that white lives matter most, nor Puerto Ricans, nor Mexican, nor whatever matters most. We all matter most. Now, you must understand that Antifa, BLM, the cancel culture, and woke, what they want to do is put that division back in between the races that had been removed so long ago. When it started out, we were totally segregated. Blacks, whites, you didn't make any difference, whatever. The Indians, the Mexicans, everybody was third world nation except if you were white. Over the years, those barriers came down against the wishes of the Democratic Party, I might add. The Democratic Party never voted for civil rights. They never voted for equality. It was the Republicans who led the fight for equality. The people that protest, they come into nice cities from other cities, and they destroy the financial districts and the service district, and then they get on the bus and they go back home. Many of them are paid to come in and do their thing. Just in the protests and the riots in front of the Republican National Committee convention nominating Trump, 50% of those people, they just fessed up and said, yeah, we were buzzed in and I'm getting paid to be here. Amazing, isn't it? Woke, the cancel culture, BLM, and Antifa want to make us believe that because our skin is lighter, because maybe my great-great-great-granddaddy owned a slave, maybe my grandfather was in the KKK. You know, it's always easy to bring these things out, but there are thousands of underground organizations that should be crushed just as bad as the KKK or any other institution that preaches one race is better than another. What is wrong with a country that has a set of morals? There is morality. There is the worship of God. There is the belief in an eternal being, whether it be Buddha, whether it be whatever. We were based on religious freedom. My religion is not better than yours, and yours is not better than mine. Now, those people in these organizations are suppressing Christian belief on every corner. These agencies that I'm talking about wish to take down that American flag. These agencies that I'm talking about want the right to break the law without a consequence. These people believe in wealth distribution. So somebody works hard, stays up all night studying, gets a college degree, goes into business and makes $100 million. You could tell this person whether they got it left of them or whether or not they made it on their own, that money should be distributed amongst everybody. I'm sorry. I did my 25 years in the military. I did 45 years in law enforcement. I worked 3 jobs. I went to college full time, and I went to military academy on the weekends to get uh, my lieutenant's bars. I don't know. You squat. You sat home. You watched Jerry Springer. You dropped out of high school because you thought your parents were stupid, and so were the teachers. You worked at McDonald's for a little while, maybe Hardee's. Maybe you dug some ditches. I don't know. I don't owe you anything that I have. I don't owe you anything. Nothing. And so you're all mad at the world and you want to take away my rights, my liberties, the ones that I have a messed up body defending, and the people that went before us who gave everything and died and is buried on foreign soil. Or here, those who came back with PTSD, those who came back minus arms and legs. We don't owe you squat. Don't keep telling me that we do. I'm tired of you trying to deflate my world. Look at all this behind me. Yeah, I'm a military hawk, boy. Talk bad to me, I'll come bomb your neighborhood. This is my man cave. You see my Trump flag? Oh, see me over there? Yep. Loved him since the minute he came down the elevator. We traded the best economy in the world, the lowest fuel prices, the lowest food prices, the better employment between blacks, Hispanics, whites, you name it, in the entire history of the United States. And what did we trade it for? Oh my God. The head of the Retirement Association, the head of Alzheimer's, the head of getting old, real old, RO, real old. And now what do we have? Inflation that is higher than it hasn't ever been in life of our country. Gas prices will be $4 again before March. We have a cross-dressing transvestite who owns a cabinet position. A man who dresses as a woman and goes to work every day. And no one is allowed to say anything because we're all inclusive. So you took away the scores at the football game. Well. What the hell is the reason for showing up? Every kid does not deserve to be in sports because all kids are not good at it. Taking your kids to practice and then letting them play ball and making mockery of the game, shall we say, can't bat, can't hit, can't throw, can't kick, can't do nothing. Don't live your life through your grandchildren or your children. If they're no good at the sport, don't make them go play. Let them play the violin and let them design dresses. Let them be a speechwriter for, the current administration. I don't know. Every kid's good at something. Let them go grab that. They want to be an actor, fine and dandy. They want to be a photographer, fine and dandy. Support that, what your child wants. I've got a newly found daughter now that I adopted. And she writes her stories constantly. And she draws constantly. And her stories are good. I think she'll be a playwright, or either she will do children's books about superheroes. And I got a son who I think is a nut about football. And that's what I'm going to let him go do. Let your kids be what they want to be. If he wants to be a drummer in a band, let him be a drummer in a band. Our children don't need to be brought down by us. They need to fall down on their own. And we need to be there to support them and pick them up. I would love to see us take a step back to where we can replace that American flag at the top of the pole higher than any other flag, where one bathroom meant one sex and one bathroom meant the other. The ability to stand on the street corner and talk nasty about our government if we want to, and no one will bother you. I'm not saying bring back segregation. That was a stupid thing to ever practice. It was something that the Democrats wanted to keep forever, but then they leave you to believe that they are the Freedom Party. No, wrong answer. Get smart, do your research, learn your history. There are many black leaders that don't have the faintest idea what history is all about, as many white leaders do not know what history is all about. The government is corrupt, not on one side of the aisle, both sides of the aisle. We have the biggest congregation of thieves, liars, and BS artists that we could ever have in the Congress of the United States and the Senate. There is no reason that you should still be in office 30 years later. You know who I want for a congressman or a senator, or even for president? I want a guy or a lady, I don't care, who has a high school education, but a truckload of common sense. They have to have missed a few paychecks, been unemployed, been down on their luck, tried and failed at a few businesses, didn't know how to talk to people, didn't know how to tell the truth. If lying and scheming and spending $100 million gets you a seat in the Senate, I'm sorry, I don't have any respect for you at all. None at all. I did like our businessman. I did like Trump. Say what you want. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to level at anything they can get against him so he can't run in 2024, because they know those 60 million people are still out there. And the majority of them still want him in office. So they've got to drum up something. They'll lie to us because we're stupid. And we'll believe it. They'll get their main weapon, along with the cancel culture, woke, BLM, and Antifa, and that's the media. It's all sickening. And I, for one, I'm just plain tired of it, because I guess they see the word mushroom on the majority of the voters' heads. Mushroom. Keep you in the dark. Feed you stuff. And love you. We don't vet anymore. As long as he professes to be a Christian, has a wife, one boy, one girl, goes to the biggest church, teaches Sunday school, or is in the choir, that today is grounds for being elected. Not a hard-working businessman that's not a heavy Bible thumper, but knows there's a God, tries to keep his life clean. Maybe he's divorced, but he's got a truckload of that common sense and he knows how to get things done. I'll vote for him. I will. Last thing on religion. Religion, God, and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, are being trampled on daily. They're trying to get all the chaplains out of the military and off of the ships at sea. There will come a time, probably not in my lifetime because I'm getting old, there will come a time that you will only be allowed to worship in your home. No more churches. You leave the Democrats in long enough. And I'm telling you, and you heard it here first, if these 12 million illegal aliens that are here illegally get the right to vote, you will never, never, never have another conservative in the White House, much less a Republican. It will be the introduction to socialism, directed by the DNC. That's not the America I want to live in, and I refuse to live in it. And I hope that I'm dead and gone when it happens. I worry for now my new son and daughter. What will their life be like? Godless, no religious teachings, and having to hide just to worship. Socialism. The government will tell you where you can live, how high you can go on the food chain, what job you can have, what kind of education you can have, how high you can go, and whether or not you succeed. Because when you do, we're going to have wealth distribution. The true Americans are dying daily. We're an old breed. We're relics. We still believe in fight for what you believe in and what you want. Stand fast for what's trying to be taken away from you. And look to the future that's filled with God and a good moral compass. That's all we're going to complain about today. This is Jim Voss, high above the garage in Aiken, South Carolina. It's just been my opinion. Of course, YouTube and Facebook don't look at it that way. I'm sorry I said some bad things about those in so-called leadership. I hate to use that word. Directional supervision. Okay. Boy Scout leaders. I don't know. Anyhow, I want you to have a nice day. Please do the likes, and if you even got a bad comment, put that up there too. I haven't had any yet. Been doing this for a year. And please subscribe. The more I get, the more people hear us. Okay? Take care. I'll see you on Facebook. We still have to get a beer and go bowling, but I love you. I really mean that. My vets, welcome home. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.